G'day guys, I thought I'd just come on and make a little short video. Look, what I really wanted to do was say thank you to all the people that who've sent messages and talked to Lynn on live chats and things and asking how I was going and stuff. Guys, I've been among the missing for a while, but we really appreciated that, so thanks very much. Anyway, I thought I'd just relay a bit of a story to you from when Lynn and I went camping last time. I don't know, it'd be a month or 6 weeks ago, whenever it was, and we put up a few videos of when we were up there camping. But anyway, there's a young guy in South Africa, Citizens Guardian, who's got a channel, and he's got a good channel. And anyway, he sent me a message one day and he said, "Wayne, I really like you telling us stories." He said, "It reminds me of my grandfather. Can you tell a few more stories?" And I thought, oh, he thinks I'm a grandfather. And I thought, well, yeah, I am a grandfather. But anyway, this bit of a story was when we were up there camping. We went up on a weekend, which is unusual for us. Usually we'll go during the week. It's a better chance of there being no people around much, because we like getting up there, you know, in the peace and quiet. But anyway, we went this day. We went on a Friday, and we had a good trip up there. And we got up to the little creek where we were going to camp, and it was nice and quiet. Probably be 3 miles down the creek. There was some people camping, so we were back up this end away on our own near the creek, and nice little flat spot. So anyway, we set up our camp there. This time we camped in. We took our swags. We thought we didn't take the tent, and we set up our camp, and we had a bit of lunch, and then we did a few things. We had a bit of a walk around and a look about the place. And anyway, come afternoon, and a guy in a Toyota Trade drove in not far from us, and I thought, oh no, don't tell me he's going to camp there. And he looked at us and must have thought the same thing, so he gave us a wave and he went down probably another 500 metres down the creek. I heard where we went in. Anyway, comes on late afternoon. It's getting very cold, and Lynn had collected up some wood, and I'd gone and caught a couple of trout. So we came back and we cooked up some tucker and had a feed. Anyway, we're sitting around the fire. It's getting dark, and I started spinning a few yarns to Lynn, a few spooky stories and things, just to scare her a bit. But anyway, got to the point. She said, "No more. I don't want to. That's enough. I don't want to hear any more of them things."
Yeah, no more spooky stories.
No more spooky stories, mate.
So anyway, we're sitting around the fire, relaxing, and just sitting there having a drink. And Lynn said, "I can hear something in the bush." And I thought, "Oh no, I've scared you. Now you're starting to hear noises." Anyway, I said, "No, it couldn't be anything." She said, "It might be a brumby, because there's wild horses up there." So anyway, she's up looking around trying to see what it was, and she couldn't see anything. And I said, "Come and sit down and relax. There'll be nothing there." And anyway, she's sitting there, sitting opposite the fire to one another. And we had a fairly big fire going, and I hung a lantern up to give us so we could see what was around our camp, so we didn't trip over or anything. And then said, "I can hear something in the bushes over there." So I said, "All right." So I got up, and you know it's like when you're around a fire and light, you look out, you can't see anything in the dark. So what I did, I sort of drifted back behind our camp and let my eyes adjust, and I thought I'll just have a bit of a sneak around in the bush myself and see whether I can see anything or hear anything. And it was funny because I'm half deaf, and I'm sneaking around in the bush so I can hear anything. Anyway, nothing. I turned around and Lynn was right behind me, and I jumped back. I guess she gave me a fright. I said, don't sneak up behind me like that. She said, I was just watching your back. And I said, oh, yeah, sure. Anyway, we had a bit of a laugh, and I said, don't sneak up behind me like that. So we sat down again, and Lynn said, I just seen a flicker of a light. And I said, oh, come on, look. I said, look, there's probably someone down the creek further with a spotlight, and you've got a bit of reflection or something, you know. Tried to justify what it was. I said, no, well, who's going to sneak around with a light, you know? But there's lots of blackberries and bushes and logs and rubbish in the bush, so obviously it was just flick on and off just to see what was around, I'm guessing. So anyway, I said, look, sit down, it can't be anything. So lo and behold, we're sitting there. Next minute I seen it over near the creek, just not far from us at all. And so Lynn gets her hat light and she's going, I said, no, I'll go and have a look. So usually I take a spotlight with me, but the spotlight was broken, and I've bought one since I come home, I can tell you that. But anyway, I goes over with this little light, and I'm having a few words to this person, and I called him by his name, but he didn't answer. So I called him a few other names, but he wouldn't come out and he wouldn't talk to me. So obviously he must have been just laying doggo in the bush, thinking, well, they'll think I'm gone. So anyway, I come back to the ute and I got 4 cartridges out. And I walked back out into the dark and I let 4 shells go. Up in the air a bit, of course. And he left. I heard him leave, and then so I come back to the fire, and Lynn's laughing her head off about it. And she said, oh, I wished I'd got the phone and recorded it, but at the time we didn't even think of that, you know. So anyway, we were just about ready to go to bed. This is about 10:30 at night. So of course that hyped us up a bit then, which I've been going up there all my life and never had anything like that. Like, you know, you think people are going up there to be like you, just want to relax and don't be near any people. So anyway, we sit around the fire for a while and we're talking about it, and it must have been another 2 hours we sat there. And then we seen down where the young bloke with the Toyota tray was camping. Next minute there's a spotlight comes on and there's a bit of a ruckus going on down there, and I said, Lynn, I don't know what's happening down there. I said, I'll go down in the morning and find out. Anyway, we went to bed, and I did actually get my axe and a few things and put in the ute and locked them, because I said, Lynn, this guy thinks we've scared him off. He might come back later on thinking that they'll think that they've scared me off. I can come back and I'll be able to... I don't know what he was up to, whether he was just trying to scare us or whether he was just trying to steal something or what, I don't know. But it's the first time ever I've had to lock the vehicle or lock anything up. So anyway, the rest of the trip was a non-event as far as that sort of stuff went. We had a good time. It was nice. But we came home on the Sunday afternoon, and my daughter and son-in-law were here, and we told them what happened, and anyway, they left and went home. This was on the Sunday afternoon. Then on the Friday, my daughter rings up and said, Dad, I've got something to tell you. And I thought, what's she going to... She must be going to tell me she's pregnant or something. I said, oh, yeah, what's going on? And she said, they got a business in town. And she said, we had a client come in and said, Candice, I've got a story to tell you. So after she'd had a treatment or whatever, she comes back out to the desk and she tells Candice this story. She said, look, my nephew was up the high country on the weekend, and she said the exact same spot where we were. And it turns out this was a young guy in the Toyota tray, was her nephew. She said he was up there by himself, and she said he's sleeping in his swag and he hears a bit of a noise. So he peers out of his swag, and she said he had these night vision goggle things. So she said he looks over, and there's a guy got the door of his ute open and he's rummaging around in his ute. So this young guy must have confronted him. So she said he followed him into the bush a fair way, And she said then my nephew got a bit bruised, he got a bit scared, so he went back to his camp, chucked his swag in the ute, and he took off. He said, I'm not staying here. So, and then Candace said to her, well, I've got a story to tell you. So she relays a story about, she said, my mum and dad were up in the same spot, and this is what happened to them, blah, blah, blah. So it was funny. So obviously this guy must have been snooping around. I don't know if he's trying to pinch things or what he was doing, but anyway, that's what happened to us up there that weekend. Like I say, I've camped up there all my life, never had an issue with anything like that before, but you know, there's a few weirdos must be getting around now. I don't know. You just don't expect that sort of thing up there, but I'll be a bit more careful next time, that's for sure. My two daughters actually went up a couple of weeks before us, and they camped by themselves, and they said, we're not going up there again by ourselves. So anyway, guys, I just thought I'd tell that little bit of a story. Yeah. So anyway, as Lynn would say, we'll see you soon. Or as I'd say, cheers for now, guys. Oh, I've got a couple of little bits of fencing videos that I've done. It was wet and windy and raining, so I was in and out to the shed, and I filmed bits and pieces of it. I wanted to film every stage of it, but I've just got bits and pieces that you might pick up a few things on that. So anyway, see you later, guys.